So here we are, everybody. Welcome to the channel. We are here with two of BookTube's biggest celebrities, the Booker Boy himself, Kieran of KDBooks.
Hello.
Below me here and now, and to my immediate right is our good friend, the Booker buddy, Sarah Freshly of Freshly Read Books. Two of BookTube's biggest, brightest, up-and-coming, meteoric rising celebrities. And
Yes,
we're here to talk about the Booker long list that's about to be culled down, cut away, pruned to the Booker shortlist, and their predictions, my predictions, and even better, the predictions of the wider community, the people's predictions, as we call them. Guys, have anything to say as we get started?
100%. We got it. So if they disagree with us, if the people disagree with us, they're right.
I've never heard such a silly thing before, which is 100% we got this. I would say as long as Life Perpetual is in everyone's shortlist, I'll go to bed happy tonight.
I highly doubt that it will be.
You heard it here first, everybody. You heard it here first.
It's the best. It might not be the best. I haven't finished the list yet, but I love it.
So here's the way we're going to do this. What we did for you that are watching and have never seen any of us, we are predicting the shortlist. Sarah has a prediction, the Booker buddy, the Booker boy has a prediction, I have a prediction, and we took a poll to get what the people thought would be the 6 books culled down from the 13, the Booker dozen, and we're going to compare. And in the event that the people's choices are closer to the reality on Tuesday than Kieran's are, what's going to happen? What's going to happen, Kieran? What are you? Come on, Annie up.
Well, I took it down to a mustache last time. No, I was completely bald last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were talks of an egg. A metaphor I would never have chosen, but once it was chosen, I loved it.
You know what? It's been so long since that happened. I forgot that that's what the egg meant.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
because it changed last year, didn't it?
So much. What?
I think after the year everyone's had, we're just going to be very boring and vanilla. And just, I will give a round of applause. That's what you can. I don't want to take my beard off this year.
About your head.
November's coming up, so I'll have a mustache then, and everyone can laugh at me. But until then.
Okay, all right. You don't have to do anything like that. Is there anything you can offer us?
I know, I'm trying to think of like what could be.
Maybe the people then get to choose a book for you to read off of some crazy list. Can the people choose a next review?
Ooh, the Reese Witherspoon book club list.
Oh, like maybe we choose, like you have to read Where the Crawdads Sing or something. But he's already doing that with Sally Rooney, basically.
That's true. He'll put himself through anything book-wise.
We will come up with a consequence, but
yeah, please leave your opinions.
Kieran doesn't seem too keen. If you've got a consequence idea, leave it in the comments below.
I'll join in. I'll join in on the consequence.
Oh, Freshly coming in for the 3-pointer. All right. So what we're gonna do first, before we jump into book talk, is I'm gonna ask you guys some non-book related questions. And then we're going to jump in to the data review because people want to know you're human. Okay. People want to know you're not just like an AF reading a bunch of books and reviewing them. Yeah. See, you're just an AF in the corner turning pages. They want to know you're human. So switch off your artificial intelligence, put on your human intelligence. This one goes to Freshly Read Books, the Booker Buddy first. Booker Buddy,
Mm-hmm.
Tell the viewers at home another hobby you have besides reading.
I think probably my biggest one is travel. Not super right now. But I'll say board games for right now because
board games. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
What's your top 3 board games? Recommend a board game to people.
Okay,
3.
So I'm into like larger like strategy board games. So Betrayal at the House on the Hill is fantastic. Highly recommend. Machi Koro is the one that got me into strategy board games, so I have a lot of love in my heart for that game. And basically like any hidden identity game, like Secret Hitler is really good.
Nice.
I'll go with that one. But Resistance is another one. It's basically the same game.
Is Wingspan a strategy game?
I've never played it.
That's Engine Builder.
Like it's the bird one, right?
Yeah.
Have you played it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You have, Kieran? Big board game himself? Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Wingspan. I got the
you got the expansion pack?
Got the expansion pack. I'm waiting for the Eurasian one to come out. That's an engine builder. It's not really strategy.
I have Wingspan because I got into bird watching last year and got so excited. And then, so Wingspan's good. I haven't played it yet. I have
my favorite card is the Greater Prairie Chicken.
So if you get the book list wrong this year, you have to eat a Greater Prairie Chicken. Raw. Charred ribs, charred ribs, charred ribs, charred ribs. Let the viewers understand the subtext here. Okay. You don't have to eat a prairie chicken, all right? You don't have to eat a prairie chicken. Okay, great. So Sarah, a book lover, a booktube celebrity. She also loves board games. And Kieran, we learned, does as well. So Kieran, if that is your real name.
Is this question what his real name is?
Question for you. Tell us something you've never told BookTube before that you think we would consider a juicy morsel of intel about Kieran of KDBooks. It could be any kind of thing that you want the people at home to know about the human Kieran. Go.
I need to go with a guitar store. I'll give you 2. So what I was going to say is that I came 3rd place in a marathon that I wasn't a part of once. And the medal is still in my parents, the bronze medal that I was given.
Okay, were you a part of the whole marathon, but just like not registered, or did you just cross the finish line 3rd?
That was it. No. So I was like really young. I was like 10, 11, and it was like a local marathon sort of thing, like a half marathon. We were waiting like near the end, and I saw one person cross the line, and I was like, "Oh, I could do that." So I came on, round pass, got a big round of applause, and they asked like, "Oh, where's your number?" And I went, "Oh, I think I fell off." And they were like, "Good enough for us." So I came 3rd, and then the other one that the Zimm alluded to is that I was in Montana, and there's a big store it's a big cowboy store, like a famous one, but I can't remember what it's called. I was about 14, 15. Basically, I knew better. Big store, and they had a Stevie Ray Vaughan guitar, like acoustic guitar, signed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a band. I used to play the drums, but sometimes I'd cover bass.
Okay.
So it's their glass cabinet with the velvet ropes around it. And I go, I could play there. So go in, open the case, play some Pantera on it, put it back, walk away, basically thud. I've basically ruined like an $80,000 guitar.
Oh my God. So you saw Velvet Ropes and you were like, yeah, but I could play the guitar that's behind it. So I'm gonna do that.
It was really good Pantera riff.
Oh, well, good. Since
I think
it was
it was
the
the
best
last
amount.
riff that happened on that
I
guitar.
think it was.
You're
the best.
welcome, Montana. You're
Yeah.
freaking
basically,
the
welcome.
was
best
like-
thing to ever happen to you.
Yeah, and then basically we had a bit of hoo-ha because they were like, well, you have to like pay for it. And we were like, oh, we don't live in America, which is true. And then we might have just given them a fake Welsh address that's vaguely accurate.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna start doing. If I do anything wrong,
Exactly.
I don't
Just
live
say,
here.
I've not heard of that. I've not heard of that. I'm from Wales.
Oh,
so
sorry,
yeah.
Canada.
Sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then we crossed
Sorry.
borders very quickly.
Yeah. State borders, which
State
$80,000 is a felony. Okay. You weren't safe when you got
And then
out of
you
Montana, just so you know.
And then you fled.
You should have got on a plane and out of the country.
I
So
did.
Montana,
They're
if you're-
probably still looking for you and
Yeah, they
specifically
are.
following
like,
you on
have you
on
seen this
BookTube.
child? Yeah, exactly. They're looking for a time.
They're waiting for you to admit
Yeah.
it.
Exactly. And we just gave
And
you the
now you
information
have.
you needed, Montana. And that is the
You're welcome,
consequence.
Montana.
That's the consequence. If you get the book list wrong,
We're calling
you're
Montana.
going to jail in Montana.
The state.
Extradite this guy. Get him back to the cowboy store.
We got him.
At least a public apology.
We found
got
him.
him. We got him. Exactly. They're listening right now.
Yeah,
on a
this
wire.
is
They're
actually,
like,
I'm a bounty hunter. The whole reason I
Yeah.
started this channel.
Exactly. Me too, actually. Checkmate, Kieran. We
Yeah.
gotcha. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna quickly run through Sarah's list. She's just gonna lay out her 6 list. Kieran has almost the exact same list except one book off, or did you guys land on the same list?
We are a unity.
Oh,
both.
sorry,
Yeah.
the Booker Boy and the Booker Buddy.
I think that
The bookshelves have
technically-
merged.
in the video, we talked for a while after the end of the.
I
what was
only
on
watched
YouTube.
like 6 minutes of it, so
Well, you got the good 6 minutes.
just kidding. I watched the whole thing.
But yeah, like right at the end, I was more than willing to change my last one just because I hadn't read An Island yet, so
Still hasn't.
and I still and I refuse to. No.
Okay, so
I'm
what's the
working on it.
list? What's the list? Do you guys have it memorized? Or do you
Yeah,
need
sure.
to... Okay, go.
We
Sarah.
got this. Light Perpetual. Karen, you go.
Is this in any particular order?
Well, Light Perpetual is
They'll-
our favorite,
Yeah, that's our favorite.
but
yeah.
other than that, no.
Okay.
We got Light Perpetual.
Oh, I thought we were gonna go one at a time. Okay,
Oh, sorry.
Bewilderment.
Bewilderment.
The
Promise.
Promise.
Great Circle.
An Island.
Not an island.
Not an island?
No, we have second place.
No, I said second place, and then you were like, I think
Yes.
an island.
No, it's
Oh,
It's
but
an
that's
island.
that? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
we
yeah.
landed. Well,
No.
What is the list, people? What
I
is
like
the
that.
freaking list?
We both had our list, and then we thought the opposite.
yeah. So it is second
Okay,
place.
it is
That's
second
official.
place. Oh,
So we got
boy, that's
okay.
a lot of pressure.
Okay, just to make it easier for you, Zimm, ask me again. What's the list? So you
Yeah,
can
that's
edit
a good idea.
here.
Karen, here's a question I've never asked. What's the list? What's the
Our list
Booker
is
Club list?
Light Perpetual,
Like Perpetual.
Bewilderment, The Promise, Great Circle, The Fortune Men, and Cusk. Second place.
Okay. You guys are definitely nowhere near 100%. I'm not even talking about compared to the people's. I'm talking about what's going to happen on Tuesday. You're way off, guys.
Right.
You're way off.
So your prediction? Let's hear it.
Oh, I haven't given my prediction yet. Actually, let me see. Let me remember what I put.
This is your prediction.
Yeah. So my
Have you not-
prediction is A Passage North, The Promise, No One Is Talking About This, Bewilderment, China Room, and Light Perpetual.
Okay, so what did we have different? No one is talking about this.
China
China Room and A
China
Passage
Room.
North.
And A Passage North. And yeah, you guys chose Great Circle.
And weren't those
I'm
a part of our
surprised you
veto
didn't.
list?
What?
Yeah.
I think all three
Yeah.
of those were a part of our veto list that we did
I'm
at the
surprised you
beginning.
didn't choose
Yep.
Great Circle, though, Zimm. I'm quite surprised by that.
I think it's I don't think it's shortlist material. So that's my list. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at the data. Okay, there's some interesting things, and I just want to make a call out. Go check out Low Shelf Esteem's YouTube channel. She is a data scientist that helped us with surfacing insights in the data we collected with the poll, and making some correlations. She didn't have enough time to go really, really deep into it, but what she got for us is great. So we're going to review that. Sarah, have you seen any of this data? Kieran, have you seen any of this data?
No.
I have seen all of it. So
I know.
Shock horror.
Yeah. So we're going to jump into that. So the first thing I'm going to call out, and what we're going to do is we're just going to discuss, and then we're going to lead up to the people's shortlist and end it there. Okay. So everyone remember September 14th, Tuesday, the shortlist is being announced. It's going to be great.
I think the promise will be on it.
The promise will be on the shortlist.
Will be on the people's prediction
okay, great.
For the shortlist. I think that might be the highest. If I had to pick which one would have the highest percentage at this point, I would think that would be it.
Thoughts, Kieran?
No, I don't think that.
Of course, because people could just vote for, like, it's possible when you're taking the poll to vote for, like, just the ones you've read. Like, you don't have to say these six, right?
You don't have to say
like these exact six, or could you just say, like, I think this one or something?
Everybody that predicted had to predict six.
Okay.
Yeah, if you predicted, you had to predict six.
I don't think the promise will be as high because people haven't read it, I don't think.
But if they have to pick six, I don't know. I feel like they would, because the hype is so strong behind it. So even if you hadn't read it, I think that people would still be predicting it.
Let's look at the data. I'm going to read off. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I thought of.
Let me have a look.
I'm curious at, like, which one they would have DNF'd the most, because that was an option, right?
Great question.
I think bewilderment's at the top.
Okay, Kieran thinks bewilderment.
Because
so you didn't think the promise because no one's read it, but you do think bewilderment because no one's read it.
No, but I think bewilderment because no one has read it. It's purely hype. And most people have read the Overstory.
I've started it.
Paula's read it too. Great review, Paula did.
It's very difficult to continue reading it, honestly.
I think you could be a bit like, is it overhyped, the promise for people who've read it, where bewilderment, the majority of people will just be like, I think it's on the shortlist.
Which book do you think people DNF'd the
most?
Which
book do you think people DNF'd the most? I repeated.
You did a great job at that.
I could probably see people DNFing. I want to say Lockwood. I think
just because the beginning of that book, I could see people giving up on it and not expecting it to be any different throughout.
Yeah.
These are wildly inaccurate predictions.
Really? I don't know. It may be Great Circle because it's 600 pages.
Oh, just because sheer length, yeah.
Just sheer length.
That's a good thought as well.
That's a good one.
Let's look at the
Passage North. I think people might have DNF'd Passage North.
That's great. Light Perpetual had the highest percent of people who started but did not finish.
Get out.
Light Perpetual out of 85 participants, 19% of people started and did not finish Light Perpetual. DNF award goes to.
So sorry.
Can you share your screen?
Okay, so Light Perpetual wins the DNF award, but
you're lost, people that didn't finish it.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing. So 85 people responded. How many people do you think on that list have read every book on the short list? On the long list, sorry.
None.
Read
read every book, including Bewilderment. Well, I know that. So you and Paula have read Bewilderment, and I don't think Paula's read all the books yet. I know you haven't.
There's gonna be someone.
Someone's gonna say they did.
That's correct, Kieran. Two people have read all the books according to our poll. Interesting. On average, responders read 6 of the 13 listed books. So the average read is 6 books. So I think this will be interesting to kind of look at over the next couple Booker seasons if we keep at this, to see if the hype or the content being created around Booker increases that number and we start seeing people read more. So you guys mentioned no one is talking about this being the biggest DNF. Actually, Clara and the Sun, second place, and no one is talking about this, are the most read books on the long list.
Oh, yeah, because it's on Women's Prize. No one's talking about this. People would have read it like before Booker.
Also, those were like the first books on our schedule. So the excitement too, of people that would be taking this poll are also likely the people that would be participating in the schedule. So,
and people reading Cusk. Cusk novel does rounds anyway.
Those are our first 3 from the schedule, which I find funny.
Funny to mention Cusk and Lockwood. Second place, and no one is talking about this, are two of the most read books on the long list, but no one thinks, not a single person thinks either one of those will win the Booker Prize.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
An Island, A Town Called Solace, and China Room had the lowest DNF rates of all the books. Everyone read those books when they started them, pretty much.
Oh, you know what? I feel like An Island makes sense because it's so hard to get your hands on that it's like, I can't give up on this. You're not picking that up from the library and then being like, oh, never mind. You're buying that book.
Good point. Oh, good insights.
Also, I think those 3 are the shortest.
Right, agreed. And no one's talking about this as like a breeze to read. China Room.
Solace is pretty easy. Do you take Town Called
Solace? Sorry, no one is talking about this. Is not on here. Sorry. China Room and Town Called Solace and Island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's. Oh, go ahead, Kieran.
I was going to say, I've started China Room tonight and I've read 30 pages in about 20 minutes. It's pretty breezy as well.
The text in mine is huge.
Yeah.
I thought that I may have accidentally gotten the large text version.
Ooh.
That's how large it is.
Gross. I can't do large text versions. Sorry.
Makes me feel very speedy as a reader, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
No, it's like reading Comic Sans. A Town Called Solace was the 4th most read book on the list, and 0 people think it will be shortlisted.
I would be so surprised if we are shortlisted.
Yeah, me too. But I'm surprised that nobody.
I'm surprised nobody thought. In fact, the funny thing is, 0 people think that A Town Called Solace will be shortlisted. 8% want it to win. 8% of participants want that book to frickin' win the Booker. But everyone's like
8% want it to win, but no one thinks it's going to be.
I feel like they should be following a different award.
Exactly.
I'm so sorry. I mean, it's a good book, but
but they fail to understand how to win it. You have to be shortlisted.
Exactly. Well, they didn't say they predict it to win. They say they want it to win, but they don't think it's going to even get shortlisted. Okay, here we are. I'm going to give everybody the people's shortlist. Are you guys ready to hear the shortlist?
Yes.
I'm going to pump through the shortlist, and here we go.
Can we try and guess it? Can we zero guess it?
This is Booker Buddy and Booker Boy prediction of who the people chose for their shortlist. We're getting really meta here. We're like predictions within predictions within predictions.
Go say you got this.
I think The Promise is on their list. Okay.
All right. Number 1. What about you, Kieran? Give us another one.
I'm not biased, and it's not because I'm Welsh, but I'd like people to want The Fortune Men.
Okay. The Promise, Fortune Men, Bewilderment. Low hanging fruit right there. Kieran?
I think Great Circle. I think
Great Circle. The Promise.
I think China Room.
The Fortune Men, Bewilderment, Great Circle, China Room. Last one, Kieran.
Maybe. I mean, people really like the Passage North.
That's true.
What do you think?
I'll go for a Passage North.
All right, so we got The Promise, The Fortune Men, Bewilderment, China Room,
And Passage North, did you say
Passage North, and
no, we said Fortune Men. What?
Great Circle.
Great Circle. Okay, the people's list is, now this is the prediction, okay, and we'll get into the desires in a second, but the prediction for the list is Bewilderment at number 1. 85% of people voted that it would make the short list. Number 2 is The Promise. 81% voted for it. Number 3, A Passage North. 68% voted for it. Number 4, Great Circle. 55% voted for it. So you guys got 4 out of 6 so far.
Hopefully I'm so tense now.
The next 2, number 5, with 51% voted for it. Ishiguro's Clara and the Sun.
Oh, I forgot about Clara.
Oh, yeah.
And number 6 with a 48% vote. Second place.
Oh, right. Yeah, people, yeah.
Second place. So that's the people's list. Bewilderment, The Promise, The Passage North,
right.
Great Circle, Clara and the Sun, second place. Now, let's compare it to your guys' list. You guys had like your guys' prediction list, not your prediction of the prediction. Again, we are meta here today, people. Meta sandwich. So number 1, you guys also thought Bewilderment. You guys also thought The Promise. You guys also thought Great Circle.
And second place.
And second place. You didn't think of Passage North or Clara.
No.
So what were the other 2 that you thought?
Light Perpetual. And The Fortune Men.
The Fortune Men. Okay, let's take a look at this nice little graph here. The book, The Promise, wins for both of what people think will win and what people want to win. So The Promise is the hard hitter. Going back to our earlier conversation, Sarah was right.
Hey.
The Promise is the highest desired and the highest predicted winner of the prize, not just the shortlist, but winner of the prize. That's The Promise. In terms of what people wanted, 40% people predict The Promise will win, 26% want it to win. That's the highest percentage. The Promise is the hard hitter here for the people, okay? For the prize, not just the shortlist, but for the prize. Next, we have Bewilderment in second place. Similar story there, 24% think it will win, 15% want it to win, which is interesting because only like 5% read it. But we got some Richard Powers people in the book club. And then it goes on down. I mean, Clara and the Sun, people are predicting will win, but not a lot of people want it to win. And this is the weird one. So when we see anomalies like this in data, this is interesting. Nobody thinks that A Town Called Solace is going to win, but 8% want it to win. How interesting. How interesting.
I'm surprised at an island that's as low.
Here it is 0% think it will win, 3% want it to win. So, I mean, it's about the percentage of people that want Clara to win.
So the lowest want-wise is Sweetness of Water at like just over 1%.
Yeah, Sweetness of Water, only 1% wanted to win. And in fact, we can probably, I think, go look at the numbers here. What books have you read? What 6 books you predict? What books did you not finish at this point? Who do you predict will be the winner? The Promise, followed by Bewilderment, followed by Clara. What book do you want to win? The Promise, again, 14% can't choose. Bewilderment, Great Circle is a crowd favorite right now. Zodiac sign, this is a pretty mixed bag. What are you guys? We've got Geminis and Aries are the predominant among us.
I'm Aries.
You're Aries.
I'm Scorpio.
You're Scorpio. You are with 5 people, 4 people. I'm a Taurus. I'm with, where are we? 7. Not that that matters. We were hoping to get some insight like, 80% of Geminis love Great Circle or something like that. But we need to do some more analysis. Dogs or cats? 7% of people think pets are gross.
Maybe they just couldn't choose.
So how do you think, if they don't like pets, how do you think they're going to treat an AF like garbage?
But they're not gross though. They're very clean.
AFs?
I assume.
I'm sure grossness can be programmed. So a bunch of people love coffee and a bunch of people. Now here's an interesting one. This I thought was interesting. Who do you guys think was the favorite long listed book last year of our participants?
Okay, I'm trying to think about what all was
Shuggy
on
Bane's
the
up
list.
there.
20%.
Oh, yeah, Shuggy Bane is
20%. The highest loved book last year by our participants was Douglas Stewart. But even more surprising than that, for me,
I think
not to you, folk.
Life.
Number 2, you're right. It's freaking real life.
Oh,
life.
duh. Oh my gosh, yes.
You gotta be kidding me.
Probably go.
Get out.
Oh, I'm torn between 2. I don't think it's Burnt Sugar. I think Burnt Sugar is probably the 11.2.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it could be Burnt Sugar.
I think it's either Mantel.
It is Burnt Sugar.
It's Burnt Sugar. Mantel's over here.
A Mantel. Okay.
So the loved books, and not represented here because it would have completely consumed the graph, is how much of these hills is gold. So I knew it wasn't fair, so I just kind of left it out.
Which one of these tiny slivers is how much of these hills is gold?
I think it's this. I think it's this one.
Right, it's not one of the tiny slivers.
No, we got Diane Cook and Tyler.
I thought you said you should only fill the poll once. Why have you done it 5 times?
Look at this. This is surprising. Who are these people?
Do you know what? I'd love to know the one
was a very
person
popular
who
book
liked.
outside of Booker.
Yeah. Again, it was. I'd like to know the one person who liked. The favorite was Red's Head by the Side of the Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also would love to talk to that person.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the only one they read.
Preferred format of reading. We got a lot of people that just love a good old paperback.
Oh.
And then these guys over here that like audiobooks. Second, we got hardcovers. So everybody, the vast majority of people prefer a book in hand, which I'm glad to see. That gives me hope for humanity. Here's one. What's your preferred alcoholic drink?
Ooh.
Wine's probably at the top.
Dude, wine is at the top. Red, white, rosé, it doesn't matter. Macadamia, wine.
What do we think the second one is, though? Do we think it would be just like a beer or like?
Oh, number 2 is gonna blow your mind.
I feel like whiskey drinkers are a big, or like bourbon drinkers are a big. Like,
no, for all the people that loved Shuggy Bane last year.
Oh, Scotch.
We got a bunch of people that don't drink.
Oh.
I would like to see the correlation. How many people read Shuggy Bane and then were like, I'm not drinking anymore?
How old are all the people that are on this list?
That's a good question. That's a good question. And then how did you find this poll? Most people finding it on YouTube. This isn't really interesting for anybody. But anyway, so here we have the big question as we're wrapping up here. Tuesday's coming around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
We got the people's list. We've got our individual lists. You guys have your collective bookshelf list. Who's going to win? We don't know. But one thing we do know is Pam Jong, Avni Doshi, Hilary Mantel. None of those people are on the list this year.
That is something we know.
And what we do know is The Promise and Bewilderment are the hard hitters. Perpetual isn't even on the people's list. So do you guys have anything to say to the people?
I mean, we agree on some things.
Yeah.
And you're wrong in other things. So.
It doesn't feel that. I think everyone's pretty much on it. I think this has been I think as a long list more difficult than the year prior.
I feel like I had an easier time, but I don't know if it's just because last year was my first time paying attention. So I kind of felt like I didn't really know like what to be looking for or anything like that. And not to say that I do, I mean, different judges, like obviously, but I at least feel like I have more of a foothold this year And going through International Booker helped too. So like, I feel like I've done 2 already, even though this is only a second like regular Booker. So I felt like this was easier, but I'm prepared to just be super surprised by the list, because I have like this weird feeling that it's going to be like all the books that I was sure wouldn't be on it are going to be on it.
If that happens, it's going to be a tough pill for me to swallow and follow the Booker next year, because it feels like, how do I do this? Why do I? I
think if Light Perpetual is on there, that'll be a lot for me to like be like, yeah, I'm sticking with you. Like, just as long as it makes it onto the short list. And really Bewilderment too. I'll be really sad if Bewilderment doesn't make it on, despite the fact that I haven't finished it.
The surprise to me will be if Ishiguro makes the list, because the book
I could see him making
it would be so sad to me, because that will really feel like a commercial move. It'll just feel like we need eyes on this, let's get a big name on this again. But isn't Richard Powers a big enough name that we don't need Clara in the Sun?
I think so.
Oh, no,
we need Ishiguro. See, that makes it a biased prize.
No, but Ishiguro is, you're probably gonna cut all this out, but like, I really like Never Let Me Go. I think most.
I'd love to read it. I think I'd love to read that.
It's great. He's like consistent, like for what he does, how he does it, his slow burns, his very slow reveals.
There was just enough problems with that novel. Problems with it in terms of just things that shouldn't have happened. Like, she convinces, spoiler alert, pause it, skip it. She convinces the dad to open up her head and get the juices out of her head. Come on. The guy just doesn't ask any questions. He's like, oh, okay, here we go. I guess we got to do it, because he's breaking the law for it. He would be like, I'd be like, you're malfunctioning. I'm not breaking the law for your crazy ass. Like, no, we're not.
Yeah, especially since he wasn't as close to her as.
Right. He just like had one conversation.
He didn't have the trust with, and it's a robot to him. Like, he doesn't have an AI. Like, he doesn't understand.
Come on, Ishiguro. That was a big miss. That was the biggest.
That was very surprising.
It became unbelievable to me at that point. You're asking me to suspend way too much. Like, I can suspend and give you your world with AFs and children being genetically modified.
And yet you'll give Richard
no one has talked to
his little space travel to different planets.
They're not really traveling. It's imaginary. It's
sure?
100%. It's his way. So it's his way of calming his son.
Oh.
Let me. In the beginning, it's not immediately evident.
Yeah, I've not read very much of it. I have no idea. It was just from my try a chapter video. So,
but I have no problem suspending reality to give you the pieces you need to create a world. But when characters
do something unbelievable, particularly for their character, like it's fine if you have a character that acts irrationally, but you have to set them up that way.
There's a fine line between like, I need this for the plot to perpetuate versus this is
and that did
unrealistic.
Feel like that. Like he needed to create a way for Clara to sacrifice a bit of herself for the story. Like, that needed to be included to complete like his whole vision.
I could have believed it, to your point, Sarah. Sorry, I interrupted. That was rude. No, you go ahead and finish your thought.
But to include the dad in on it, I think I could have believed it even more if it was like the mom, because she already started really trusting Clara.
Exactly.
And I had already seen her like so want to grasp onto anything.
Yes.
That it could have been more believable with that.
They go on a drive for an hour. Like, we're going to go on an hour drive and we're going to go break the law in that time. And he just happens to know, hey, in your head is this special juice that will destroy that. Give me a break, Ishiguro. Give me a break.
I mean, I think if he makes it onto the list, I'm not going to be like too upset.
I won't be too upset.
I think,
but it will feel like a big move.
Still Solace for me. If Solace is on it, I think that'll be the most surprised I'll be. Actually, No, Sweetness of Water. If that's on it.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah.
very
Oh,
surprised.
gosh.
Yeah,
Stop it, Sarah. That'll never happen.
It's gonna happen.
I was just trying to think about which ones I would be like, what?
Okay,
And I
so
think
here we are at the end of our predictions, the data review, everything like that. There's going to be another poll for the winner. You guys have been awesome. Check out Sarah, Freshly Read Books. Check out Kieran of KDBooks. Go check out Low Shelf Esteem. I'm Zimm of Zimm Reads, and happy Booker to you all. Stopping the recording.